Hey everyone, this is Sam, the Frugal Hugel gardener. I'm standing here in front of one of my banana plants that has a nice rack on it. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to show you the difference of growing a banana plant as one plant with 2 or 3 suckers around it and you remove all of them, and growing your banana plants in clumps, which is the way I like doing them. Although, as you can see, I do it different ways. So let me explain the difference of growing banana plants where you only have one rack instead of multiple racks. Okay, so first off, on the bottom, look how wide. That's probably 11 or 12 inches from here to here. And if I measure it around, it's really long. But I have 1 sucker, 2 suckers, 3 suckers. And these are the ones that are going to replace this banana plant. Now, if you look at this banana rack, there's a lot of hands and a lot of fingers on it. And right over here, this was the last of the female blossoms, and now you have male blossoms coming out. So all of the rest that come out of the bud are going to be male, and they're not going to go ahead and produce any more banana hands. But this is definitely a full rack. Okay, so this is definitely a full rack. Look at that. Has a lot of hands and a lot of fingers. It was the bed was composted properly. It's been fertilized properly. I've been removing all the suckers, just making sure that I leave 2 or 3 to replace this when it shoots out a bud. And luckily I got it right, because the last video I did on removing the suckers on this plant, I left 3 of them around. Perfect timing, because then the bud came out. Although we're approaching the winter, so we're in December now, so it's the wrong time of the year really for a bud and a banana rack to come out, because all it takes is one good hard freeze and it's a goner. But anyway, you can see, so I got this nice big rack off of one plant. Now you see the space that this plant is taking up? Now let me go and show you why I like growing in clumps. Okay, so this is a dwarf Cavendish banana clump, and on it, let's go ahead and see how many racks I have on it. So here's a really nice rack. Here's a really nice rack, and you can see they're doing well. Here's a really nice rack. Here's a really nice rack. And here's a really nice rack. Okay, so we're back to the first rack we started from. So you see all those racks on this plant? Now this plant is growing in the same amount of space, in the same size bed as that other banana rack. But do you see how many racks I have in the same amount of space? So I'm a believer in, if you start with the bed, you compost it properly, you fertilize it properly, there's no reason why you can't have a big clump with that many banana racks growing on it. And this isn't the only one. Let's go check out the one right next to this, which is a grand name. Okay, so as you can see, starting from up back there, all the way down, that's a grand name. Coming right over here, this is a grand name. And you can see these are really nice bananas that are forming on it. You can see it's a really nice size rack. And coming right over here, same thing, nice rack, nice hands. And here's another one right over here. Okay, so overall, this is a nice clump. It's got a good amount of racks on it, and all the banana hands and the banana racks look good to me. Now on this one plant, there's a lot more hands, a lot more racks, and a lot more fingers than that one singular plant. So let's go check out some others. Okay, so this is a Namwa right up here. That looks like a nice rack growing. I have a bud coming out, wrong time of the year, it's probably not going to make it. I have a nice rack right over here. Another nice rack right over there. Another nice rack right over here. A nice rack right over here. And another nice rack right over here. Okay, so this is the last one right over here. Okay, so the point that I'm trying to make is, if you grow one plant with 2 pups and fertilize it and compost it properly, your rack is probably going to have a couple more hands on it, and it's going to be a nice rack. But there's no comparison. And the bananas are going to be the same size. But there's no comparison to growing on a clump, because if you see the amount of clumps that I have that have bananas on them, and you see the amount of banana racks on each clump, I'm getting far more banana racks and hands and fingers on my clumps than I am that one banana rack. A lot of people don't believe in growing clumps. I tried it. You've seen the results, so I'm a believer. Although, as you see, I do grow individually, which give me some really nice racks. But my purpose is to fill up my freezer so I could have some food. And the clumps outperform, as far as quantity, hands down. Okay, so I hope you thought that was interesting. One nice banana plant giving off one nice extra big banana rack, has more hands on it. All the bananas are the same size, versus having a clump where you could have 5 or 6 or even 7 banana racks off of that one clump. Personally, as long as the bananas are the same size, even if it gives 1, 2, or 3 hands shy of a singular plant, which as you can see, my Cavendishes and my Grand Nain over there, those racks are pretty nice size. So I think even if it was a single plant, they would still have that amount on it. But let's just say 1 or 2 or 3 hands less. There's still more bananas on a clump than there is a singular plant. But I grow both, and I wanted to do both so I could show you how they perform. But also, I'm lazy. I don't want to go out to each one of my banana plants and keep removing suckers all season long. So I just select like one from a different variety to bolster it up and get one really nice banana rack that I can show you how nice my banana racks grow. But it still comes down to compost, fertilizer, water, weather, and so what time of the year it comes out, and so forth. The banana buds that come out just around the last cold spell, those banana buds tend to be a little smaller, and the racks tend to be a little smaller. Those buds that come out around the end of April and May and throughout the summer, those buds tend to be bigger, and the racks tend to be longer and have more hands on them. That's because the bud is predetermined inside the plant. About time it comes out, it basically knows genetically, I believe, how many fingers, how many hands, how big the rack's gonna be when it comes out. And if it comes out during a cold spell, it's gonna be smaller. So my banana racks in the beginning of the season tend to be just a little smaller than what I just showed you. So my first ones that I harvest, and you can see them in the videos below, because I harvest them on video to show you. I'm not gonna like not show you things that happen around here. I believe in showing you everything, the good, the bad, the ugly. You know, there's been some comments before in the beginning of the season like, oh, that's a small rack. Well, yeah, but it's a rack, had some really good bananas on them. In my zone, it came out in a cold spell. I still went ahead and got a rack out of it, so I'm happy with that. But on that same clump, a little later on in the season, I had about 5 other racks that are that size, so I'm happy. I get the early ones all the way throughout the summer ones into the fall ones, and the ones that are budding now, we're in December right now. We usually get a cold spell 1 or 2 a season, so they might, you know, the young fruit may not make it. Time will tell. So I know that it's controversial. Some people don't believe in growing in clumps. They say the mat takes up energy and so forth. So I always say the proof is in the pudding. I like experimenting and show you what I'm doing. So right there, you just seen a really nice single rack. Probably has the maximum amount of hands that variety is supposed to have. And you just seen some other racks, multiple going around. I think they all look good. If they make it to harvest before we have a really hard freeze and a cold spell, I'm going to be really happy. May not make it, but you see what's on the plant. It just depends when those buds decide to pop out. So hey, talking about fertilizing, I have to go ahead and fertilize because it's another month. This is going on my 3rd month of my banana plant fertilizer test. You can search those videos down below, and I'm going to go ahead and change the battery on this camera and get that video going because I need to fertilize those test banana plants, which are going to show the different fertilizers, if there's any type of difference in the plant and the rack that it produces. So with that said, hey, this is Sam the Frugal Hugel Gardener. If you enjoyed my video, subscribe to my channel, give me a like, give me a share, come on over to my Facebook banana group. You'll love it. The link is in the description below. Just click on it, it will take you there. It's a fun group, knowledgeable people. Post photos of what you're growing. If you have any problems, post what your problem is. We'll help you out if we can. Meanwhile, if you're growing some really nice banana plants, no matter where you are in America, come on over. Post your banana plants. We would love to see what you got going on. Hope to see you there.